Yeah, NBA Straya, how are you going? How you going? I hope you're all right. You should be, because it is Friday. Friday, am I right, TGIF? August 9. Time for some tins. Tell you what, thought I'd overdone it with the tins over the holiday. And all the live streams, and then it's like Friday, I'm like, I'm thirsty. I'm your host, James Clements. You can see my ugly mug on the AFL Today Show, the official AFL Supercoach podcast, as well as Fox Sports Lab NBA, Fox Sports Lab NFL, all the good stuff. I'm in Lauri Markannen Studios. It's a happier occasion. Like, the last show was just a soggy sorrows, the Boomers have been booted show. This one's just kind of a fun little one. Yeah, because the gold medal game is set, and it's a cracker because we had two classic semi-finals. They gave us two classic, awesome, teams playing off for the gold medal. It's going to be rad. So, that'll be fun. We've got a little bit of Boomers, a little bit of, the 2028 Boomers potentials that Olgs threw out there. And we'll talk a little bit of OPALS who are playing tonight, which is going to be sick. Can the girls. So that'll be fun. But that's about it. Lauri Markannen got an extension. We'll talk about that in a second. So let's just bloody well get into it. We'll do quick nahs at the end of the Outback Takehouse. Pick and preview the gold medal game. And get out of your hair. Quick show for your Friday. Righto, let's get into it. Episode 1130 of NBA Australia. Oh, let's go!
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze, and you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
Watch out for the shark attack.
You better watch out for the Joker attack of the USA. How good was that game? Better watch out for the crapping your pants attack if you're Francais as well. Anyway, let's start today's show the way we start every show here at NBA Show with the daily. I believe it's some sort of. Is it a whip around? Oh, yes, so it is, you see. Bit of news, actual bit of NBA news. It was going to be the last bit of NBA news that we probably had for a little while. And it actually happened. Lauri, that's a girl's name, Markannen, got an extension from the Yaz. The Utah Yaz. It's a soft J. You got a 5-year, $238 million contract renegotiation and extension, right? So $220 million in new cash, which is always kind of fun, I guess. Just one of those weird ones where you're like, they were going to have to do it. They had to do it before the deadline, which was the 6th, and that's exactly what happened. So he only had the 1 year, $18 million left on his contract, did Lauri, right? So use the salary cap space to bump up another $24 million, which is chaos, and another 4 years and 196 after that. So no options either side, which is pretty interesting. But that means that he can't be traded for 6 months. The exact date that he can be traded is basically the trade. I think it's after the trade deadline day, which is pretty crazy. And they'd sort of kicked around the idea that he could be traded. And essentially, for a minute there, it looked like he was going to be able to be traded on the day of the trade deadline. But the 6 months seems to push him past the February 6th trade deadline. So, bit of a weird one. But at the same time, maybe it's the Yaz guy. Look, we never got any good offers. We had to do the extension. I'm just saying you probably could have done it a couple of days earlier. Anyway, it's an interesting one. How do you feel about Lauri Markannen? Is he the finisher? Is he the Finnish version of Dirk? Is he just a really good second banana? Anytime someone said, you know where he'd be great? And I'm like, you better say the Spurs. And they'd say, the Spurs. I'm like, nailed it. He'd be so bloody good next to Wemby. As a number one, he feels a bit overmatched, but at the same time, he's really still quite crazily young. So, in terms of Lauri still having that little bit of, he's 27. So you kind of reckon he might have topped out, but he's still 23-8 and shooting 48% from the floor. Can he then take that next step with better teammates around him? If Utah decide to go, right, we're going to build around Lauri a bit more and a bit better rather than doing the old tanker, we'll see what happens. I don't know. Lauri's an interesting one to me. It feels like he's a really great two. But either way, prove me wrong, Lauri. Prove me wrong. The other little bit of NBA news, and this made me a little bit sad, Jeremy Lamb. Old Sleepy Eyes. If you're a long-time listener to the old NBA Australia, old Sleepy Eyes, Jeremy Lamb, Yukon legend as well. Part of the James Harden trade. A bunch of other ones. He was a 12th pick in 2012. It is chaos when dudes from 2012 are retiring and you're like, oh, God, I'm old. Oh, boy. But either way, he was on in Charlotte for a while. And then he was on the Pacers, the Kings, stuff like that. So, bit of a tough one. He was on the Kemba teams and Yukon. That's fun. Good on you, Jeremy Lamb. What a legend. Those Sleepy Eyes will go down forever as just one of the classic sets of eyes in the NBA. Right, let's talk about those two great games from the Olympics. That was awesome. Two capital G great semifinals to make the gold medal game. I enjoyed both of these immensely because that vibe around the France game, Air Francais, versus the Germans, yeah. What you doing, Tommy? Better watch out for the Germans. This was a great, long-time rivalry. You think about it in meta terms. Germany 2, France 0. Don't mention the war, Jim. 73-69. Nice. The Germans lose for the first time in 13 tries across the last World Cup and this Olympics, which is chaotic and awesome. Great job by the Germans getting this far. They'll be able to crack at the bronze against the Serbans. That's not what you say. But anyway, the Germans opened up a 12-2. They start off awesomely. 12-2 run. France fought their way back into it. Germany still led 25-18 after one. And France just couldn't sort of hit a three. At one point, they were like 1 of 11. Yabu hit a three finally. Yabusele. I hate him so much because of what he did to Dante, but he was fucking awesome in this game. And in the second quarter, France just sort of kicked it up a notch, and the Germans couldn't quite hang with them. It was 33-33 at the half. It was a 15-8 second quarter, that one. Wemby had a sick dunk in, just around that last minute mark to tie it up at 33-33. He didn't have a great game, but he was he was kind of everywhere. Like, he and Gobert. Gobert's got like a finger thing, and they're like, yeah, we had to send him for an MRI. It was weird. You're like, okay, sure. But outside of that, it was just like it always felt weird. Like, you're like, this is just a lot of Nick Batum. It's a lot of Fournier. And they made it work because they got up in the third quarter. Yabusele just went absolutely ham. He was knocking in shots. Germany had like 10 turnovers towards the end of that third quarter, which was, I think, a big bump up from what they'd been doing. And they just sort of looked a bit rushed, looked a bit shook. And the Wagners, were well held. Schroeder couldn't really get too much going. He had 18 points on 6 of 8 shooting. Franz was the only other player in double digits. And this is always the sort of fear with Germany. Like, they play so well together, and then once it just goes a little bit wonky, it's Schroeder or bust. And Franz Wagner's not quite there yet. As just, all right, fuck it, give it to me, dude, who can just, you can ride home. You saw that in the USA game where they're just like, oh, fuck it, we got like 4 of these dudes. This is going to be sick. But it was a crazy game. Like, down a bit, Germany just did not stop fighting. Don't want to hear that again, do you? They got up, it was a 56-50 after 3 to France, and it was a 23-17 quarter. They just sort of pushed out the advantage. Yabusele was awesome in the third. And then France got up 11 in the fourth quarter and felt like they sort of put the cue in the rack a little bit. Sadly couldn't buy a bucket. A little late run from the Germans. Isaac Bonga, he hit a 3. Obst hit a 3. It was 69-63, 2 minutes to go. And you're like, fucking France score here. This is over. Fournier missed, literally back-rimmed a dunk, which was chaos, with about a minute left. And Schroeder scores on the slob. Yabu goes 1 of 2 on free throws, and Franz nails a 3, and it's fucking 70-68 all of a sudden. And then there's a scramble for a rebound off a Wemby miss. Was it a Wemby miss? It was off a miss. I think Wemby was actually scrambling for it. It comes off Franz Wagner. Germany turnover at the end. Wemby misses the first free throw, hits the second one. It's a 3-point game. They foul straight away because that's smart. What do you do when you're up 3? Foul. And Schroeder misses the first one. So they're cruising. Cordinier was awesome. Hit the 2 free throws to win it, 73-69. The place erupts, the home nation, into the gold medal game. Yabusele had 17 points in the end. Cordinier had 16. He was awesome. Those 2 free throws right at the end to steal the win were just massive. He had 16 points, 7 rebounds. He was bloody good. Plays for Virtus Bologna. Pretty good. And Yabusele, that guy sucks. He was the best player on the floor, though, so not bad. Wemby went 4 of 17, but he had 7 rebounds, 3 blocks. He was good. The Wagners had a combined 14 points. That's big old pumpkinhead Mo. He had 4 because his brother Franz, had 10. The Germans obviously had Schroeder going the 18 points, but they only shot 40% from the floor. The French defense to just hold Germany to 63 points, which is usually a well-oiled machine of an offense, was just fucking mega. A lot of that's just Wemby. Even Franz hit that 3 late, and you can see Wemby just going, I could probably still fucking block this. It's like, dude, you're like 8 meters away. He's like, nah, I still got it. Oh, I shall still block this shot, don't you worry. Anyway, huge win for France. Huge, considering that Germany beat them in the group stage. That's massive. 73-69. France are awesome. What a fun game. And then an absolutely chaotic USA Serbia game where the USA got down, 17 points? It was absolutely nuts. They were still down 15, like in the fourth quarter. But anyway, look, Serbia hit every 3 in this game. They threw the kitchen sink, and it was the exact opposite of the Australia game. They were really good in the first half, hit every 3. And the crazy part was Steph Curry was also hotter than fish grease to start off with. He hit 5 threes in the first quarter. He was absolutely flying. He scored more points in this game than he'd scored all tournament combined. Had a massive moment. Big bucket late as well. But anyway, look, through 3 quarters, I think Serbia went 15 of 30 from downtown. That's not bloody bad. Big volume. A lot of makes there. Not bloody good. Not bloody bad. If you're Serbia, they're up 13 going into the fourth quarter. And then LeBron James went, nah, fuck this. But I'll tell you what, Joel Embiid was absolutely massive. So was Kevin Durant down the stretch. So was LeBron. LeBron had a triple-double. That was nuts. And basically, overall, like watching this USA team have the fear of God put into them, absolutely try their hardest to shit their pants, and then pull it back from the brink was exhilarating, wasn't it? 16, 12, and 10 for LeBron. Embiid ends up with 19 and 4, shot 8 of 11, and absolutely fucking towed up Jokic a couple of times late. But Jokic just kept them in it too. Like, late, there was a moment where they were up like 7. It was like 4 minutes left, and you're like, Jokic just scored again. Holy shit. He had 17, 5, and 11. He was the offensive fulcrum that we're so much more used to than what we've seen. But he shot 7 of 17 for those 17 points. Embiid made him work. You had Bam. You had Anthony Davis. They just went, like, their entire role was just go, fucking stop the Joker. Let Steph go absolutely ham. He had 36 and 8. But KD ends up with 9 points. He didn't have a bucket through the first half. And then I think he had, like, a bunch of them in the fourth quarter, and it was just bloody massive. Like, those buckets down the stretch from Embiid with about 4 minutes to go, just to drag them back into this game and give them a bit of belief. Because KD hit a shot. They were down 7 with like 7 minutes left after Bogdan hit a beautiful jumper. They'd been down 8 just before that. Booker hit a 3. Bogdan answers. They're still down 7. KD hits a beautiful shot pass from Embiid. Embiid hits a jumper. It's a 5-point game. And Jokic just gets a sick bucket with 5 minutes left. Embiid hits a beautiful jumper and 1. Boom. And then hits another jumper. It's a 2-point game. Embiid just dragged them back into this game. And then you have LeBron James tie it all up, 84-84. And then Steph hits the go-ahead 3, 87-86. It was exhilarating basketball to see this team put in that position and go, oh, fuck. Wait, we are still the best team here. We have the best dudes. Check this out. And then, like, some of the biggest names in basketball just, like, turned it up a notch to kick some ass, take some names. It's exactly what happened. Would I have preferred Serbia win? Fuck yes. That would have been the funniest shit in the world. Are you kidding? But this was also unreal just to sort of see a team ratchet it up to a notch that they hadn't hit in this tournament previously. So it was that 86. They led 86-84 after LeBron had tied it up. Petrosev dunks. It was a very nice one. And then after that, Steph hits a three, LeBron hits a layup, Steph gets a layup, and they're down 5, and you're like, oh, God. Poor one out for poor Serbia. They'd emptied the clip, and America's like, you want empty clips? Bogdan hit another jumper and one. Back to a 2-point game, and then KD, just out of fucking nowhere, that jump shot that he hit to go up 93-89 was chef's kiss. Joker scored again, but by that time they had to the foul, and boom, Steph hit them both and away. Pretty handy to have the best shooter of all time on your team in the Olympics, I reckon. So not bloody bad. An amazing game, a really fun game. For Serbia, that prick Avramovic, he had 15 points. I think it was all in the first half, though. Bogdan was incredible again, 24 and 8. He had 8 of 18 shooting, though, 3 of 10 from downtown. They went 15 of 39 from 3 in the end. Now, you might remember where I said they were 15 of 30 heading into the fourth quarter. Yeah. When you go 0 of 9 in the fourth quarter, it's not bloody great. Poor one out for poor Serbia. So there you go. All right. Good stuff. Nice one. Well done, USA. That was a fun, chaotic game. I think that was only the second triple-double in US men's basketball history from LeBron, which is just sick. And he's the first player with multiple triple-doubles at the Olympics, like, all time, with the 16, 12, and 10. Like, that's just insane. I think there's only been 4 ever, so not bloody bad. And I think Steph came very close to obviously breaking Melo's US Olympic scoring record in the Olympics, but they were down 17 points, Team USA, and that frustrates me so much from a Boomers point of view of like, look, Serbia have Nikola Jokic, but this is the exact fucking thing about why I kept yelling, you make a quarterfinal, anything can happen, because you win through to a semi, you just fucking get the Team USA on a weird off day, you start throwing punches, shit goes a bit wonky, Team USA starts shitting down their leg. And Serbia had that. They had this. They're up fucking 17. And then boom, here you go. But for the Boomers, like the way that Serbia played with all the threes, like I'm not entirely convinced that we could have probably matched that, just because the Boomers 3-point shooting was like Patty Mills. Maybe Patty Mills goes off. Maybe Giddey hits a couple of threes as well, and McVeigh hits like 4 or 5 threes, and like the Boomers would have been in it. But we have a very different game to the way that Serbia played. Maybe if we had, Jock in the middle dominating. But Jock versus Embiid is a very different situation than Nikola Jokic and Embiid. Still, awesome game. Love that. USA through to play France in the gold medal game. Great job, everybody. All right. Should we make a couple of picks for the games? Or we'll leave that right to the end. So how about we just get stuck in. We'll just keep rolling. This is going to be a short episode anyway. We'll get to half hour or so. But the other little bits and bobs that I wanted to hit on was quite simply like the player ratings that I threw out the other day for the Boomers. Like watching this Serbia USA game, I was like, look, it probably made me more angry that the Boomers didn't win it, because Serbia played so well and they played so shit against the Boomers. That you're like, yeah, the Boomers defense had some great moments. They had some great weapons. And I would have absolutely have loved to have seen that going up against Team USA. But I believe old mate, buddy of ours, was like, Jim, your bloody player ratings are a bit too high. And I'm like, look, I didn't want to like do the player rating. Like those are the player ratings for the entire tournament, not so much just against Serbia the other day, right? And you don't want it like, it's all on a curve. So I think the only A's I gave out were like to Jock and Dante for the entire thing, right? Dyson was right there, but just didn't score in that last game when we really, really needed him. And Paddy had such a roller coaster of a tournament that, yeah, you couldn't quite give him an A, because defensively, like half of the big fucking problems the Boomers dealt with was that he was a one-way player in those Canada and Greece games. And you saw him like ratchet it up a little bit in the Serbia game. You're like, where the fuck was this effort? Jesus. I know you don't want to tire yourself out, Paddy, because you're 36, but god damn. But anyway, I'm still pretty happy with all of those. Will the Thrill, I could have probably knocked his down a little bit, but I feel like he was pretty solid throughout it. Nick K cop one, Joe cop one, Josh Green cop one. I just wish Duop had been given more of a chance throughout the tournament as well. But I think the sort of fallout from the Boomers campaign, and like when you watch these two semi-finals, you're like, yeah, France, Germany, they are on a different level to Australia. But by the same token, there's nothing out there saying that we couldn't beat them, right? If there was like a sort of systematic offense that we actually adhered to, and I think a lot of the fallout that you saw is that Gorge steps away. We all understand that he was going to after these Olympics, and everyone's like, all right, Gorge out, get out, Gorge, fuck you, Gorge. And my entire thing is like, the Gorge offensive plan wasn't for them just to go fucking hero ISO ball, right? That wasn't the plan. That's never going to be Gorge's plan. It's like fucking move the ball, find the open guy. And when they did that in the first half against Serbia, it worked a fucking treat. But I think the lack of backup plans, when it becomes that sort of scrabbly, hard-fought, shitty thing, as we saw all tournament, there was no resting control back of the team offensively. And when you throw all those rotations in there as well, it just muddies the waters so much more, where the way that you fight out of a hero ISO ball thing is just to go, right, here are just a set lineup of dudes who are going to move the ball. This is where you throw Jingling Joe Ingles out there and just let him go at it. But that never sort of happened, and that's sort of what hamstrung us. So it was pretty cool to see Olgs get out there and talk out the idea of the 2028 Boomers squad, which is, I mean, we'll talk about it quickly in Nars in a second, but Olgs put out the really, really good sort of article about the way too early Boomers team for LA. We do have I think the FIBA World Cup is in, I think the 2027 one is in it's in the UAE or Qatar or somewhere. Let's have a look, actually. I have a computer in front of me, you see. FIBA World Cup 2027, Jim. What do you reckon? It'll be the 20th FIBA World Cup, and it will be in Qatar. Knew that. 27 August to 12 September 2027. Interesting. 4 venues and 3 host cities. Should we go? I reckon we should go. Should we all go? Oh, can you booze on in Qatar? Fuck no. Geez, that'll be rough. Anyway, Qatar in 2027. I mean, World Cup squads are always a little bit different to Olympics. By the same token, the players that Olgs threw out there for the Boomers 2028 for LA, he had Josh Giddey, yep. Dante Exum, yep. Tyrese Proctor, sure. Dyson Daniels, Josh Green, sick. We're now up to 5. Johnny Furphy, Alex Tui, not bad. Tui was part of those scrimmages and was around the Boomers camp as well, so that sort of checks out. Forwards, Matisse Tybal, Aussie Matty T, Jack McVeigh, not bad. Probably need another one in there, I reckon. And the big men, Jock Landau, Rocco Zakarsky, and Alex Condon. Interesting gear. I feel like I kind of dig it. It's like, I like that he threw Alex Condon in there, who was like, a former footballer, maybe. Isn't that right? Yeah. Still, I don't mind that. What I would love to see is like one more wing. You've got Henschel and stuff like that. One more big man. Like Rocco is pretty fucking tall, but he's spindly as fuck. I need another Bangers or Bogut. Just someone who can lay some wood. Like Jock's kind of there. He's big, he's massive, but he's not just the wood laying type. I want to see a bit more wood laying. But I don't mind that from Olgs. It's well thought out. It's very good. Go check out his article as usual. Giddey, you sort of like throw him on there. You get Matty T back. You have Furphy as a scoring wing to maybe take the jingle spot. You've got Dyson. You've got Greeny. Greeny hopefully is like sort of found a bit of an offensive groove by that point. He's on Charlotte this year. Dyson and Greeny should hopefully be a lot better. You've got Dante Exum, hopefully, just at the point of his career where he's like almost the old head at that point. Giddey, 25, hitting his prime, feeling pretty good. McVeigh, the old man shooter at that point. And then you got Jock, big cock Jock in the middle. I kind of like it. It's fine. And also, it gives us sort of a lot of options in that one. Just as long as you got Matty T on there, I'm happy. But there'll be 1 or 2 other names that sort of pop off, obviously, in the next 4 years, and we'll see what happens. So, be pretty bloody good. But the 4 spot, like the sort of big man rotation. Like, I don't know how old Duop will be at that point. And then you think about, I don't know, the sort of other, like if you want to ever play two bigs, I don't know if you're going to go with the Wilder Thrills and the world, stuff like that. Xavier Cooks, perhaps. Jack White, obviously. Luke Travers is another good name there, maybe. I wouldn't mind seeing Travers being involved. He can sort of do a lot of stuff. Anyway, right, let's do some quick yeah nahs. We'll take a very brief break and we'll come back with some quick yeah nahs, look at the gold medal and bronze games, and then get out of your hair and let you enjoy your weekend right after, let's say, this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're
Australia.
listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
All right, let's do some yeah nahs brought to you by the NBA Australia shop. Get your merch, get your merch.
Get your merch, get your merch. Wear it. Get your merch, get your merch. Get your merch, get your merch.
Yeah, go to nbaaustralia.com/shop or just click through the links on the socials. Get a hoodie, get a t-shirt, get a stubby holder. There's only a couple of the coffee mugs remaining. I don't actually have one on me, but either way. Get right around it. Go check out the NBA Australia shop. Support your favourite Aussie daily NBA podcast and video. Go to the YouTube, check all that out. Hey, yeah, nah, should Paddy play on? Yeah, nah. Look, Paddy will be, he's turning, I think it's his birthday this weekend. Is that right? I better check that. I'm just saying stuff at this point. Yes, it's his birthday in 2 days. Happy birthday, Paddy Thrills. He'll be turning 36. That means, of course, he'll be 39 by the time the FIBAs roll around and 40 by the time we get to the LA Olympics, basically. You're not LeBron, right? Small guards, 40-year-old, yeah, thank you. Paddy has been an absolute legend of Australian basketball, probably top two boomer all time. Gazy, Paddy for me. I'd love to see him just sort of take over as like the boomer ambassador. He and Jingles maybe, and Delhi. They probably, Delhi should have been that this year, along with Jingles, rather than perhaps being on the squad. But I don't know, unless he's like shredding in the NBL or something back home and just like, fuck yeah, feeling an absolute groove and still like wildly successful. I just don't see it though in 3 years. Like you think about him and what he was able to do at the Tokyo Olympics. So that's 3 years ago, basically now when they finally got to it in 2021. The Paddy then versus the Paddy now, that's 3 years, and he's only in his like mid-30s at this point. Late 30s gets very fucking different very, very, very quickly, and we do see small guards drop off dramatically, don't we? So I think Paddy has done enough. He won us our first ever medal in men's basketball. He's an all-time legend. We thank you so much, Paddy. You are one of the two greatest boomers to ever pull them on. But I don't know if he should be part of the next campaign, apart from as an advisor. Do we want a local coach? Yeah, nah. Like everyone goes, oh, what about Scott Roth? What about Scott Roth, man? It's another American in the NBL. Don't mind it. That's fine. People talk about Trev. Sure. I said on Wednesday's show that I would rather see just like, I don't really mind who it goes to. I think as long as we literally just go someone who has offensive nous and is happy to be involved for a long time and help build this program and develop the Boomers program and the players associated around it and the next generation. And the next generation understands the culture and like feeds into that. That's what I want. I just want somebody who can put an offense together, get this team playing like a fucking team and doesn't throw shit against a wall, and hope for the best. Because that's the most frustrating aspect of it, I think. So someone like Scott Roth, the way that the fucking Jack Jumpers play is amazing. Like talk about some of its parts rather than the individual fucking accolades that they're all gunning for. Like, the jack jumpers are awesome in that regard. Vickerman, maybe, but like United have like those stretches where you're like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't know. Trev, people seem to love Trev. He won a lot of titles. It checks out. Aaron Fernie. There's plenty of names out there. There's Damien Cotter that keeps getting thrown up. Matty Nielsen, Adam Caporn. Look, I just want an idea. I want an idea-based system. I want the coach to basically go, I want us playing this way to our strengths and having offensive stuff that just works and we know what we're doing. Yeah, that's all I'm after. Adam, our man Adam R. Wrote in. G'day, Jim. Adam here, long-time listener, now first-time caller. Would I be wrong in saying that Joe Ingles has already started his coaching plot for the next World Cup? Seems Brian decided to take him to be an assistant coach when the guys came off. The bench has NBA experience, so essentially you're getting an NBA guy. What are your thoughts and feelings? Love that. Really like that. Jingles as a coach. What do we reckon? I think Gazy tried his hand at coaching. It got a bit squirrely. I do wonder if Jingles wants to go into that. I feel like Jingles needs to take a little bit of time off though, doesn't he? Like, he's got his kids. They've moved around a bunch. He's still got another year in the NBA coming up. I reckon you gun for Jingles 2036. Right? I reckon we let the next coach go hammer and tongs at the World Cup into the LA Olympics and sort of, see how it's all set up. Because ideally you'd want them to go to maybe 2 Olympics. How's Jingles going then? Maybe you give him 2020. Maybe you just sort of go, right, how do you feel, Jingles? I don't know if he'd be ready in 3 years' time, though. It's a tricky one. I think it takes a lot of learning on the job, this coaching. And I don't know if Jingles has got enough time. But that's a fucking great question there. Upset that we gave up 24 points. Love you, love us, love everything we stand for. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know. I think Jingles as Boomers coach would be fucking amazing for the culture, I reckon. All right, last one, Outback Takehouse. Let's do it. Oh, yes. Let's go. It's Friday at Outback, and that means, 4 for 1 tasty oil drum cans full of ice cold Foster's Lager. That's right, it's Australian for horse piss. I mean beer. It's definitely not beer. Of course, no Australian would ever fucking touch this stuff, but still, we'll give it to you in an oil drum can the size of your bloody head. And it's 4 for 1. TGIF Fridays only at Outback. And today's Flame Grill take is the hurt and pain that Josh Giddey and Dyson Daniels and Jock Landale experienced at this Olympics will fire them up the exact same way that Rio fired up the boys and got them to medal glory in Tokyo. Just you wait. To the point where the Boomers will be in the gold medal game in both the next World Cup and the next Olympics. Only at Outback. Prove me wrong, boys. Prove me wrong. All right. A couple of quick game previews. Unless we're going to do a really brief Paddy Mills Game Day Baller, which we should do because we haven't really checked in. There's a Jock one. Oh, they're going to play tennis. That's pretty fun. There's Damon Lowry, friend of the program, getting his Olympic tattoo. That is awesome. What a legend. On you, Damon. Where is Paddy? I might have looked at his stuff the other day. So it's not going to pop up. There you go. There's his men's health cover. No, nothing in there. I think I looked at it the other day. It was just a bit sad. Anyway, let's do it. Medal game previews. Serbia, Germany. Pretty tight one. This is a very, very, very close one. Serbia are 1.5 point favorites against the Germans. I probably actually trust Germany. Like in big spots, I'm going to take Germany plus 1.5. This is a disappointment today, though, so it's going to be tough for them to contain Joker with Danny Tice and Big Mo Wagner. But I think the Germans will have a big bounce-back game. Serbia won't hit the threes as much as they did against the USA, so give me Germany plus 1.5. And then USA-France, what an awesome game this is. Bloody hell. The USA are 16.5 point favorites. Why? They just scraped. They were down 17 to Serbia. I'm going to take France plus 16.5 in their own digs. Wemby and Gobert sort of helps negate the athletic advantage that they have, and away we go. Let's go France to cover, USA to win. And, of course, the Opals tonight. Let's bloody go. The girls. This is exciting times, isn't it? I am excited to see what happens in this in the semi-final that the women are playing. The Opals. I love Kayla George, Alana Smith. Absolute weapons. Unfortunately, Australia trying to knock off the USA. So, at 1:30 tonight, hopefully you'll be up. I'm going to take the Aussies plus 15.5. They play scrappy. They play hard-nosed. They're awesome. I love them. Jade Melbourne was fantastic last game. Let's go the girls. Aussies plus 15.5 against the USA. Don't know if they'll be able to break their unbeaten streak, but here we go. And that's it. That will do us for a little bit. We will take a couple of weeks, I reckon, on the old NBA Straya. There won't be much news throughout August and stuff, so we'll probably be back mid-September. So we'll probably take a couple of weeks off the old NBA Straya. We'll do a bit of a refresh. I'm going to have a couple of logo ideas, stuff like that. Maybe a couple of other segments that will come back in hot to preview the next season. So if we have some interviews and stuff pop up, we might jump on and just do that. In the meantime, we'll probably have a chat to a couple of journos about the Boomers stuff in the wash. And on Monday, we might do a bit of a wrap-up of the USA and how the Opals went. So we might have a quick one on Monday again. But after that, we'll probably take a couple of weeks. So just giving you a heads up. All right. In the meantime, though, of course, follow NBA Australia on the, all across the socials, all the good stuff. That's all the fun stuff, isn't it? Twitter, Facey IG, YouTube, of course. Get around NFL Australia. We're kicking that back off very soon, myself and Gaz. Check a rating and review on your Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, whatever app you use to listen to on your Android phone. It does help out heaps. Please get around it. Please say, Jim, you're doing a great job. NBAaustralia.com/shop, get your merch. And a big thanks always go to From Oslo, House Hats, Josh Fidelarendis, Fascinated Goldmines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Section Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. Smash them all on Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Facey, Apple Music, Spotify. Remember, NBA Australia supports Australian bands, so should you. Thanks for a great Olympic run. We'll be back on Monday to wrap up the gold medal game and the bronze game and the Opals and stuff. And we'll do a big sort of season-ending send-off then. But until then, have a great weekend, you dickheads. This is NBA Australia saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And go France! Go the Opals! Blow to their ass! Kick the USA's ass! Let's go Opals! Come on, Kayla George! Give him hell! Later, Hosen.